Shafts are scary. Not even able to take advantage of our extra speed here, and instead we're going to be at the whims of the game for a wee bit. As we find an artifact ring for only 100 gold. I mean, I think I'm going to have to snap by that. It's pretty incredible. It's a shame we can't wear boots, because some magical boots would have been a nice find early on as well. Even this ruined ring mail might be worth the look here. Let's buy the ring and see how that turns out. What did we get here? That's nice. So the ring Osmofer here, AC and Slain is a really good combination for us right now. We need all the defense we can get, and the Slain will help us out as well. It's hitting with our fancy little dagger. Zealot Blade, such a fun item. Might end up picking it up, but we'll have to see what the future holds. And oh my gosh. Okay. Air Magic and Conjurations, you're stopping at 11 because we are definitely going to be converting into poison with that last pickup. We just got Ulgrub's Toxic Radiance added to our spellbook here. So if we can get that castable, it will do absolute wonders for us for a huge section of the game. Especially if we can pair it with my favorite Ignite Poison. And another fancy shop here. Holy moly, me oh my. The ring, Sotankuchi. Fire is interesting. Cold vulnerability might be a little bit of a pain, but otherwise that's a nice ring. Fire resistance, strength and intelligence being boosted, seeing visible. At the very least, it makes the shopping list, and we'll have to see what the future holds. And then regen might be the other one that we come back for at a later date. And it continues. Oh my gosh. So what else do we want here? The floor of artifact rings, of shops in general, just everything a growing Tengu could possibly desire. So from this shop, while we're here, I am going to be buying Curari darts, because that's a nice thing to add into our repertoire here to try and slow some terrifying targets. But I'm looking at this spear. The +6 Spear of Wrath Vampiric. Fly doesn't really matter, we already do that on our own. But corrosion resistance never hurts. Strength +3 makes it hit a bit harder. I think that that's very likely to be a contender for the future. Oh, whoops, also forgot to actually buy those Curari. Let's go back and do that. Perfect. Vampiric Spear. Right, and it's +6. It's a pretty nice weapon, all in all. Unfortunately, a helmet that we're unable to use, but that's okay. What a floor. Holy moly. Not too shabby there. Let us continue on. Make sure I don't have any new spells being offered. Doesn't look like it. Also, Poison Magic should be focused. And these other two can just go on the back burner until they hit that 11. So I would like OTR castable as soon as possible here. Let's not quite head into our lair yet, even though that's likely to be our next target. We'll instead start off this direction. Potentially should have been trying to airstrike while we had the opportunity, but that's fine. I'll instead just take this frog upstairs, bounce around that son of a gun. And do I want to fight the Weaver in here? No, let's play it safe. Let's just head to a different stairwell. We can just fight that buddy from a distance, we'll be okay. Similarly, we can just fight all those whites without them surrounding us and poking from afar. Kill them one by one, then it's a fight that I am willing to take. Oh, friends? Apparently they all just immediately disappeared. There you are. And this is that one at a time that we were just talking about. Fantastic. I'll take a few more of those, please, and thank you. Unfortunately, the rest of the whites here seem to be hanging out in a little bit of a group. Never mind, we're able to pick one off of the pack. Let's see if we can't do the same thing. 2 this time, but still not too bad whatsoever. Gladly take this fight. +3 short sword, we should be okay. Always nice running into white packs. As long as you're able to take them out, those enchanted weapons early on can be absolutely huge. You're resistant to poison, right? Unfortunately so. Oh boy. Okay, that's a big boy. Hound, you and I are gonna go for a little walk here. There we go. You're getting hit twice. Without me blasting myself, that's good. Do we have anything at our disposal here that could potentially make this a bit easier? We should check max damage rolls, 18 to our 16 health. Oof, not great. Can airstrike you. We do have one more potion of heal wounds that I was hoping we wouldn't have to use. I'm going to risk one more here. Perfect. With our armor class rolls paired along with a max of 18, very unlikely that we get one shot to death there. Still could have happened though. Let us mark off this stairwell as unsafe. This one too while we're at it. Let's see. This one was just a wyvern. I'd rather come face to face with a wyvern than the two-headed ogre here. There we go. Not too bad, all things considered. Oh boy. Quite the welcoming party. Just kill the orc warrior and again hop back out of there. And it's looking like we might just go to lair. After all that. Unfortunately, it's just slightly more frightening than I'm willing to put up with at the moment. We can ID another stack of potions, giving us the curing that we've been missing. That's fantastic. And hopefully lair is slightly better. Can always get to the point in this game where no matter where you head, you're going to be fighting for your life and you just have to make a hard decision. But fortunately, this is not the case for us quite yet. Instead, we'll just blast these sons of guns and get a nice little foothold in lair. Not too shabby. Find scale mail, the +5 scale mail, positive energy, regeneration, and int +3. Holy cow. Oh, this run is so cursed now. We've just found far too many good items, and I'm very concerned about what it means for our future. Regardless, I'm picking that up. Encumbrance rating of 10, so probably more than we can handle at the moment, especially with only 8 strength. And might as well do a quick check. We throw this son of a gun on. Not actually as bad as I thought. And that's a lot of defensive capability. You know, I think we will actually wear this armor starting immediately. As soon as these two skills hit the cap that we've set for them, we'll also start training some armor in order to balance out the negative impacts. And holy moly, what a start. Slight mistakes were made here, but we'll just take these two upstairs in order to ignore the problems. Let us divvy this fight up appropriately. Fantastic. Hitting down once more into the breach. And just PPPPP. There we go. And here is going to be a little bit of a tough fight. These buddies hit hard, and we don't have any poison resistance at the moment. We do have regeneration on the armor, which will hopefully keep us alive. But it's a slightly scary scenario to say the least. So I'm going to throw some airstrikes and then try and get these bounces working out. Perfect. We managed to take them out. And yeah, definitely Eggly. Absolutely game-changing amount of AC added with the armor there. Very much something that we needed. And fortunately with the Komodo Dragon, we can do some old school kiting here. That was the other issue with the Cane Toad, of course, is that they're slightly too fast for us to do any of our fancy maneuvering. Ooh, and we get an Amulet of Regen just on the floor, so we don't have to splurge the cash for that. So doubling up on regen means a lot of health back to us. Then with these sons of guns, I want to poisonous vapors, a bunch of them, so that even as they teleport around, they're still injuring themselves. Because alternatively, this is potentially a very scary fight. Let's take one step back. I want to bounce on all these sons of guns. Fantastic. Start airstriking. It costs a lot of magic, but it does guarantee the hits at the very least. There we go. Just one left, I believe. Perfect. Another fight that can be very scary on the majority of your casters coming into the lair. Komodo's falling under a similar boat, of course, but luckily with the extra move speed, we can just cheese this fight a little bit. Make sure that we're doing okay. In fact, let's get you out into the open and just airstrike you. Fantastic stuff. Okay. Not too bad here. The ups and downs have definitely been hitting today, but more ups than downs so far, and that's all you can really ask for. Maybe I said it too soon. This is not a fight I'm happy to take. Fortunately, we do have all the mana in the world here, so we can just spam airstrike. Otherwise, that would have been very frightening. Airstrike can really shine in lair. Yeah, that right there against the Mambo was the perfect example of that for sure. Especially since we're otherwise relying on poison a decent amount. It's one of the few ways we can take care of a lot of these poisonous monsters. Oh, polar bear. Oh crap, let's not accidentally attack a mushroom. Not our best move. Instead, we'll just keep this buddy poisoned. As soon as they rage, I want to start airstriking to just finish the fight. And it works out beautifully. And so we can rinse and repeat. Perfect. Taking advantage of airstrike's guaranteed hit chance as well as decent damage to just finish off all of these slightly tough encounters. Not too bad here. Still don't really have many of our scrolls identified, so hopefully get a few more ID scrolls in the near future. Airstrike to the rescue. Yaks. Not too frightening. Hydras, though, definitely are. This is where airstrike will be our only real opportunity to take them down. But 8 heads, hey? The one nice thing that we have at our disposal is the fact that we are faster than the Hydra. So we can use this as a test to see how much damage airstrike does on average there. We unfortunately failed it twice, so not the best example of its abilities. Okay. Really? That doesn't seem right to me. A plant right at the base of the stairs just immediately slams us. I think, depending on how well it rolled there, 3d7. And it dealt exactly 21. So I think that was a max roll. Otherwise, I'd be slightly worried about even just heading right back upstairs we got here. Still could happen. They can do, I guess, 25. But that had very good likelihood to be an extremely unsatisfying end to the run. Just hop downstairs, get blasted, and you're dead, son. But fortunately, we live to fight another day. Hopefully we don't run into that same situation anytime soon. I think we do kind of have to pick our evils here. 8-headed Hydra or 4-headed. I'd much rather fight this son of a gun. So, decisions are made for us. We'll lead them out into the open here, and then get some airstrikes down. Potentially slash a couple of times. I was hoping to deal slightly more damage than that, but that's fine. And here you can see the Hydra kiting that we plan on taking advantage of in order to actually make it through these, because otherwise there's not a great opportunity. In fact, I think I am going to just have to lead this buddy on a little bit of a wide loop here, because we'll need our full magic reserves just to ensure we have enough power to take them down. Hey Shaper, how's it going? Bird is going pretty well. We've only come within one shot of dying like 4 times so far, so much better than usual, right? Let's see. No, can't even risk a few hits. Fortunately, we got slightly better rolls on the damage this time, so we just need to keep on the ball here. Maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon. So, yep, never mind. Looks like we're back on the back foot here, or the back talon, as it were. You really enjoy the School of Magic, Callie? Nice, yeah, I feel like there aren't too many people that focus on Air Elementalist. Fire Elementalist, you know, has all the showy, flashy AoE spells. Earth Elementalists have all the incredible single target blasts. But I think Air has a lot of really fun mechanics, and that's why it used to be, yeah, my favorite school. Back when I was less focused on winning and more on just having fun. Shape missed up to say what's the word? No, we all know what the word is. In a weird little stalemate here. Might just have to lead out to an open area. Take some risks once more. There we go. But you can see how much we struggle against a 4-headed Hydra. Don't feel great about that 8-headed Hydra that's waiting on the floor below. Might be a bit of a tough fight for us to get through. Oof. Definitely need to split up these buddies. Oops. Weird hiccup burp hybrid bridge. There we go, though. Unfortunately, these water moccasins, not great. Both our other stairways are not very safe places to hang out. Crap, and they are both adjacent to us. I was kind of hoping that would not be the case. I'm actually going to blast the one in the back first, as silly as that might seem. They have more spaces open next to them, and there we go. Regardless, we're going to have to fight them both in sequential order there, so it all works out. And so it continues. Jeez, Layer 2 already have elephants and 8-headed hydras. What is going on? Not exactly what we were hoping to run into early on. But Water Moccasin, you come upstairs with us. Not too shabby. Hey Brain, thanks for the 7 months here. Holy moly, me oh my, can't believe it's been that long, but thanks always for your continued support and for always coming on by and showing your lovely face. It's always nice to see you around. Hopefully we can keep it up. We're on the streak here. We're gonna try and keep it going as much as we possibly can. And not too shabby. There we go. Take down the elephant pack. Just in time for the wolves to show up. Hello, friends. Ooh, let's definitely poison you so we don't stay surrounded for too long. Make a wee bit of noise here as well. Not the end of the world. And poison finishes the job off for us. Fantastic. What's the streak at? We are currently at 3 wins. So this is our 4th one that we're going for. If we manage to achieve it, maybe not today, either today or next week, and then it will put us at a tie with our previous best. So I'm hoping that we can get it rolling here. The scariest part of this run will be the beginning. And then ideally, once we have enough blasting power, we should be in a decent spot for the future. So it's been a little bit since we checked out our skills here, so let's quickly take a peek. Spellcasting we'll just bring up to 9 or 10. Let's go 10 since everything is hitting double digits pretty quickly. And unfortunately, I'm now at a bit trickier of a situation. Originally, we were just going to go into training armor, pretty straightforward. Now, though, we could start with shields instead, having picked up that kite shield. I think regardless, we need a little bit of armor training just to make it so we can successfully wear our current set. And we'll also put on fighting temporarily just to get our health total looking a bit better. The resist corrosion ring in the club area is funny, right? Perfectly planned and maneuvered to be there just when we need it most. Didn't know they had artifact rings called Deus Ex Machina in this game, but I'll take it. Not that it necessarily puts me in a comfortable position for fighting an Oak Club, because still 21 damage. Or I guess it would be half with resistance. Corrosion is a weird one where I'm not actually 100% sure if it operates on the exact same mechanics as the other elemental resistances. But I know even for poison, when you have resistance to poison, that does reduce the effect of spells like Poison Bolt that have a really high just base damage on top of the poison effect that they inflict. So until told otherwise, that's how I'll assume that corrosion works as well, I guess. So nice of these yaks to all line up like so. Absolutely love to see it. Fortunately, we have our AC ring and our pretty solid armor. Otherwise, there's no way that I would be going even temporarily toe-to-toe with the axe like this. But it works out quite nicely, and then we can just run away from the last couple here. At least until we regain enough magic to blast. Beautiful. So let's take a quick peek. Now that our poison has come up a bit, we can see that Oglup's Toxic Radiance looking pretty castable. That's looking alright. We could learn Conjure Flame if we wanted from Vehemut here. With our Human Fire Elementalist, we did finally come to realize how to use the newer version of Conjure Flame to good effect, and it was definitely pretty nice. For now, though, we won't worry too much about it. We will definitely learn Oglup's Toxic Radiance, though. That'll help us out a great deal with taking care of some of these bigger groups. Please, sir. Do not petrify me again. There we go. Fantastic. We'll continue our exploration. This is where we saw the 8-headed Hydra, right? Because I have to keep that in mind as we move through here. We can see when we cast OTR, for a few turns, we get to radiate our toxicity. Works out very nicely with multiple targets like this. Getting some good damage done across the board. Hey Railbird, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic day. Always nice to see you as well. And just in case, or more so, because I've almost guaranteed saying that to some of the people coming in, I of course am also very glad to see each and every one of you. Even if I don't say it explicitly, know that deep down, I absolutely feel it. Okie dokie, there's the 8-headed Hydra. Don't know how I feel about this. Fortunately, we can run away, so that's good. We have decent distance right now, so we could just try airstrikes, and hopefully it deals enough damage. It's looking good. Hey, not too bad. So even 8-headed Hydras ain't got nothing on me. Beautiful, absolutely fantastic. Hopefully, you can see that repeated throughout the rest of this. And there we go. This is where OTR will see its true heyday. It's time in the sun here as we just absolutely destroy the entire pack of yaks. Try our yak pack. Not too bad. Ooh, and we see Swamp, which is kind of nice because Swamp at least has a bunch of enemies that are not resistant to poison. Snake and I was gonna say and Spider, but that's not true. Spider, they're mostly vulnerable to poison. But Snake is the main one that we don't really want to be seeing here. There we go. Slightly harder fight than I was initially giving it credit for. Could have definitely turned out to be a lot scarier, but fortunately managed to get through in one piece. And now we're really just holding out hope that we find Ignite Poison sometime, because if we do, it is all over. Also, let's take a brief intermission here as Vehement offers us Stone Arrow. It might be nice to have some element neutral, just like kind of physical damage that we can hit down on our enemies. Let's learn that for now. We have a high enough conjuration score that we won't have to worry too much about training. We can even quickly check what's the spell power on that. 92%. Beautiful. Yeah, we're already at 30 intelligence, which is pretty wild. Airstrike the Cane Toad, of course, and we'll continue moving on. Well, nice. You didn't think Airstrike was strong enough to kill an 8-headed Hydra from an edge of line of sight, right? I wasn't sure either until just then. See, you missed earlier, Railbird, while we were struggling against a 4-headed Hydra, really concerned about the fight, never really managing to do enough damage to finish it off in one conflict. But we do see that we do slightly better off on that second attempt against the 8-headed. 30 Undead experience level 12 is pretty good, right? And that's exactly why a lot of these spell powers are way higher than they have any right to be at this stage of the game. I mean, Airstrike still is a way to go, but that's because it has a very high cap on it. But definitely cannot complain too much about all that. And maybe the spellbook has Ignite Poison? Wouldn't that be nice? Unfortunately, more ice themed. Oh, in some ways the exact opposite of Ignite Poison, but that is a-okay. Still plenty of dungeon to go, plenty of time to get this combo kicking. Maybe here. Again, not quite. Yara's Violent Unraveling I have a little bit more respect for than I used to back in the day. But mostly I'm just excited to try that out in the future, since the changes in Trunks seem really fun, using it against summons specifically. But Urug at Lair 3, hey? Don't like that. Don't like that. As we discovered very recently, was that even last run? It might have been the one before. But I never realized that Urug mistakes us for a harpy. This time, totally fair, Urug. Even if you weren't missing one eye, if you see a giant bird coming at you in the dungeon, you're totally in your right mind to think that that might be a harpy. But a lot stranger on some of our other characters that we've seen that message. Let's see, I don't feel great about fighting you. Those javelins are gonna hurt really badly. But we can cheese this. In fact, Hirari has a 61% chance to hit. Let's slow Urug down. Then I want to run to Edge of Vision. And then we're gonna play some games inspired by our Spriggan here, where we just keep Urug at the edge of our sight, constantly throwing extra stacks of poison down, occasional airstrike here or there. And beautiful, managed to take them out, which does leave us with a very early Demon Trident. And I mean, we were already eyeing up that Vampiric Spear that we found in the shop. So I think we might have kind of come to a bit of a conclusion as to what style of weapon we'll be using moving forward. I'll definitely pick this up for now. Also drop some of my standard armor that we're no longer needing to lug around with us. Where are you, Cane Toad? There you go. You blended into the walls. One of the few times that we have some issues in the tile set here. Where the heck did we see Sonya? She went out of view. Potentially a scary fight. Fortunately, it doesn't have distortion, so that's good. We also have airstrike, guaranteed hits, very strong against high evasion enemies. We can potentially take Sonya, but it's going to be an interesting fight. Let's see, how much health do you have, friend? Oh, only 30? I almost feel sorry for doing this. Absolutely blasted. More Curari for me, definitely love to see it. Now we'll continue on, having taken care of a couple of very scary uniques. Not too bad. And a Staff of Air is very interesting. I put this on, but I just realized might not be necessary. The majority of our air spells are already at 100%. You wish it had left an after image when an enemy enters and leaves line of sight in the same turn, right? It can definitely be a bit of a pain, because especially when it's a super scary enemy where even a single turn inside of them, they might like send you to the abyss or something like that. You really don't want to make the mistake of walking the wrong direction in that situation. It's tough when everything happens instantaneously at once, right? Also, thank you so much, Reddick, for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Always nice to see new people around. Thanks for dropping on by. Also, just realized I should almost certainly be using Oglib's Toxic Radiance, and that simplifies the fight much, much more than we were dealing with. Aha. Looks to be a similar situation once more. And in fact, just keep running away from the yaks, and as they come towards us, we'll slam down the extra poison. Ooh, if we get petrified, that's bad though. Don't do it. Beautiful. Very scary. OGL does really well at this point. Yeah, for sure. This is where it's probably strongest in the game, though it is surprisingly effective relative to a lot of different poison spells, because even in the late part of the game, a lot of the pack enemies that you kill... Oops, let's not throw all our Curari darts. Let's go back to our spells in our quiver here. But yeah, even in all the pack enemies like Draconians and Zot even, you're still going to be able to take care of the majority of them. And ideally, you get to kill a decent number of summoners before having too much trouble with them. If this hits, does a lot of damage, it's going to be rough. Staff of Air does that formula on hit, at least that formula percent of the time, so extra 1 to 40 damage 40% of the time at max. Oh, interesting. It's definitely a nice little add. I mean, we won't be committing too hard to it, because I think I am a pretty big fan of some of these tridents that we've come across. And we just did a character recently where we got to fully showcase the ability of those spellcasting staves. So don't feel too bad about potentially passing it up this one time, though we might still use it every once in a while just to increase our odds of survivability. And yeah, Orc for sure for OTR. Another really fun zone. I mean, even my two favorite parts are probably the like ending section of Orc, and if you ever do vaults, because doing the last floor of vaults, Ignition definitely has its own attractiveness to it and is definitely the most fun, but OTR is a very, very close second, specifically with that Ignite Poison combination. We can truly do some wondrous amounts of damage, but finding a Phantom Mirror on layer 4 here is quite fantastic. Ooh, getting pushed off the stairs, not so much. Got a little bit cocky there, trying to extend the fight slightly longer than need be, when we should probably just walk away. But all of our skills hit their caps here, which is absolutely fantastic, so we can definitely start training shields. That's on the agenda for sure, try and get that kite shield usable. And what else? Maybe some evocations. Alternatively, we could start going back into training some spell schools in preparation for the future. Would be nice to know what spells we'll have. Fortunately with Behemoth, we know that we'll have quite a selection of destruction spells offered to us throughout the course of the run. So it's likely we get any destructive spell that we could possibly want by the end. And so we can kind of cheat the system a little bit and start training whichever spell school we have the most interest in if we have the desire to. And there we go, just a short little loop. Very fortunate not to run into too many other monsters as we make our way. There we go. Sapphire also gives resistance to electricity, if that's something you need. That's very true, and something that I often overlook, so thank you for the reminder. I feel like Staff of Poison I've used a lot in my dungeon crawling career, as it were, for the resistances, just because poison resistance is such a necessary thing for so many areas of the game, or at least makes them a heck of a lot easier to get through. But it is important to note that resistance to electricity is equally as important moving forward, just because of how much damage the electric spells and monsters do overall. Here we go, the Blink Frog Horde going down much easier this time around now that we have OTR at our disposal. Absolutely love to see it. Unfortunately, on the flip side of the coin, we do have Snake, which means we won't get to just go on the full joyride of Ogleb's Toxic Radiance the whole way through the middle section of the game, but can hopefully find some other solutions for that area. And until then, we'll keep doing the usual thing here. Airstrike doing a heck of a lot of heavy lifting here, especially on all these gosh darn snakes. Who put all these MF and snakes in the MF and dungeon? And just about through at the floor here. Not too bad, all things considered. Make sure we didn't get a new offer while I wasn't paying attention. Doesn't look like it, so we'll just continue on. Everything's going fairly smoothly. Oh, Steam Dragon, how you once scared me. Not too long ago, almost killed us. But not today, friend, not today. We're slightly low on magic, but if we switch over to the Staff of Air, our airstrike should be even stronger than normal, and the Hydra should go down fairly easily. Fantastic. In fact, what I should do here now is let's change the Dagger Venom to the A key. Let's change the Staff to the B key, just so we have the nice quick swap with apostrophe. Makes our life a little bit easier going forward. How dare you? I think you die while we're in stone form. Fantastic, you do. Absolutely love to see it. Guess Ogleb's is our best bet here. We'll take out the Rhyme Drake because we don't want to get frozen. As long as we're not frozen, we can just walk away. We don't have to deal with these buddies too much. Then once we have some distance from the bear, we'll just max stack poison and airstrike to finish them off before they get into that berserk state and chase us down. Perfect. As long as we don't run into Natasha at all, I feel like we'll be fine, because I feel like in some ways Natasha is our racial enemy. I know how cats feel about birds, and I don't want to see what happens if one gets their grubby little paws on us. Just disappear in a puff of feathers. But not too bad. Ooh, give me the whole horde, please. This is the one issue, the one true problem with OTR, is I get too obsessed with watching all of the poison tick up across the board, so sometimes I put myself into slightly more dangerous situations just to get a cool effect. That's usually not a great look in this game. Generally the type of thing you want to avoid as much as possible. You've seen too many Tweety Bird cartoons? Exactly. I mean, ideally it results in a similar thing to all those cartoons where the bird always outsmarts the cat, but when the bird is being piloted by me, I feel like we can't quite guarantee that, so maybe have to be slightly more worried. And interesting, so I actually decided, or accidentally more so, went down to our last floor of lair, one that we'd normally kind of avoid, not worry too much about until later on. And instead of just leaving, we now have seen that there's a volcano here. Do I want to go in the volcano? We don't have any fire resistance. So probably not. I don't even know what we'd be looking for there. Could get like a good fire resistant armor, but our current scale mail is incredible and I don't really want to switch it out. Could get a good fire weapon, but we have a demon trident on lair, so might not worry too much about it. I don't believe so, Shaper, for Ignite Poison. Oh my gosh, never mind. Behemoth, I love you, bud. Keep it up. Fantastic stuff. So that's going to be a yes from me. Almost definitely. Fantastic. You've definitely died once or a dozen times trying to be mana efficient with the spell. Exactly, yeah. And yet Vey doing all the heavy lifting, carrying us on their shoulders for sure. Volcanoes are a bit easier than ice caves. Definitely. No, ice cave with no cold resistance on this character, no shot. Volcano, I'm at least thinking about it. Don't know how I feel. I might try and ID a few more scrolls if we get magic mapping, which we do first shot. Okay. Trying to tell me something, game? Or are you trying to lure me to my death? I feel like both are a possibility. And yes, of course, praise be to Vey. And also with you. Let's read the magic mapping and see where this is, shall we? It's also right next door. One fortunate thing about volcanoes is the majority of them have an early escape option. So ideally, even if we decide to go in here, we have an out. But here we go. So we just need to stack up poison on everyone, and then... not that. Oh, you know what? I don't think I actually have this macroed to anything. Let us change out Stone Arrow for now. Or alternatively, can do equals S. Let's change F to capital Z since that used to be our statue form. And now can ignite all that poison and just absolutely obliterate the entire horde in one fell swoop. You definitely love to see it. So if we go in here, which it's looking like we will, ideally, we want no enemies that are resistant to poison, so no molten gargoyles would be nice. We are just experience level 13, so hopefully that's in the cards. Ignite poison is not going to be very useful, because most things in here are going to be resistant to fire. Depends a little bit on what we come up against, though. So cross our fingers, and hopefully this is a volcano that we're equipped to deal with.